Okay. Um, I'm trying to figure this out. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see. What's going on, YouTube? Dark Rewind here. And tonight, however you're watching this, we're talking about the new hotness, the the return, Final Destination Bloodlines. I just seen it. I'm a little late. And I heard all the rave and rants. Um, shout to my guy UAG. He was ranting and raving. He gave it a 10 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a really good score, and I was like, all right, let me check this out because I'm gonna be really honest. My reviews definitely my opinion. This isn't spoiler free, semi spoiler, just because I'm gonna break down some of the kills and some of the things I didn't like. So if you haven't seen it yet, I advise you to turn away. Now we got that out the way. All right. So Final Destination Bloodlines, um, it made its big return for the franchise. It's a fresh experience, and and it's definitely Final Destination with its Final Destination as formula with the kills and the death and I'm next, you're next thing. Okay. So I could definitely say um overall the movie is entertaining. Okay. And in my opinion, it's not the good entertaining. It's like that good bad entertaining where it's like what you're seeing is so random, it's so dumb that you're like, what the um even I was even guessing some of the kills when I seen glass breaking and condensation, and I see the dude lighting the grill, and I was like, okay, here we go. Um, besides that, it kind of did make it entertaining though. I'll give you that. But I honestly, I kind of think that those kills weren't. Some of the kills were dumb but entertaining. But I think the storyline I wasn't feeling too much, even though it's kind of the typical like let's figure out who's next on death's hit list and who skipped and who didn't skip and who, I'm trying not to spoil too much, okay? It's hard not to do this, but so Bloodlines, it's called Bloodlines because that's what it's about. It's about a family bloodline that where the OG grandma, she skipped death back in the day, so now death put the whole bloodline on his hit list, and she's been dodging death all this time. And of course there's going to be the one granddaughter that wants to know about, she's been having dreams about her grandma dying, and she ends up seeing, I guess, her grandma's original prophecy how she was supposed to die, which is the opening of the movie, which I would say was pretty crazy. It was over the top, but it was kind of cool. It was crazy. Like what the wow, it's definitely one of those openings, and it was a pretty solid opening. It definitely was like okay, all right. And then they started getting into the whole family bloodline thing and figuring out who's next. And the grandma was, they try to make it seem like she's crazy, but really she's scared to step outside, and rightfully so. If you see the movie, you know what happens when she steps outside. Um, which I could start right there at that kill. Uh, it was the perfect Final Destination formula ass kill with you know you have the wind blowing and the little thing knocks it down, something explodes, and somebody's face explodes open. Um, I just get it, but it's to me it's just kind of silly, and it gets really silly to me after a while watching all these, you know, pennies, roll down a vent, stop a fan, or I I guess I lose myself watching it because it's like, really? Okay. It's a lot of that happening during the movie. I'm really like, really? Okay. And there's some parts like, oh shit, that's cool. You know, that is the emotions I get in Final Destination Bloodlines. I do want to note two two of my favorite set pieces slash death scenes. I gotta give a shout out to the beginning, the opening. The opening scene I think was overall the build up of it and the overall execution of it was pretty solid. It had that little touch of that Final Destination randomness with the fucking penny that's just all over the place and it just wrecks the whole the tower, you know. And but overall that build up to it, leading up to it was all cool. It was cool, it was catastrophic, and the little brat, you know, got what he deserved at the end of that part. So that was a pretty cool thing, just for it to be a prophecy or whatever. I forget what they called it in the movie. Was a little disappointing, but it was still cool. That was a still cool part. But my second favorite kill was definitely the MRI, the magnet. That magnet kill was crazy. That was dope. But it did get ruined a little bit. I think when the magnet turned all the way up and then everything in the hospital starts, you know, magnetizing towards the door. I was getting like, oh, okay, I can't wait to see when someone opens the door what's gonna happen. And then that was one of the part that I did predict, and I was just like, okay. But it was still cool. So I had to give it props. I still enjoyed that part. That was pretty cool. But I would probably say the lawnmower kill was a little random. It was a little that was really silly to me, in my opinion. The garbage, just the garbage truck kill was hilarious. That was just so stupid. It was like, what? Like the movie was like, I guess the only reason why I'm not hating on this movie, because I did find it somewhat entertaining. Okay, but I will say it was almost like I felt like I was watching a spoof movie, like kind of like something the Wayans brothers would do, like in Scary Movie. And at certain times, like certain things were just kind of goofy to me. Like even in the beginning, the opening scene at the Sky Tower, when that one that one chef was cooking, and then they just like flip the pot, then the girl's on fire, she's running, and then she runs into an open gas line and blows the whole side of the tower up. I was like, what the fuck? It was just like random, but hey, you know, um, like I said, I'm not hating on it. It was just silly. Like I said, you have to. I guess you can't take these movies serious. And maybe it got a high score because it was so silly and people would just enjoy themselves and it was fun. And it's not a try hard experience. But it's just weird that Rotten Tomatoes, out of all people, gave this like super high score when like a serious horror movie that's actually good, you know, they'll be all strict on the screenwriting and the screenplay and the cinematography and you know, and not enough political agenda and all this bullshit. You know, it was just weird. So that honestly, Rotten Tomatoes is the reason why I even seen the movie. I was like, wait a minute, it can't be that great. So I went to see it, and I didn't go in watching it the hating and mindset. I was just like, I got to see what's so great about this, and it was just really, really silly. Like, yeah. Um, and they had the scene that a lot of people seen from the teaser trailer with the dude with the piercing at the piercing parlor, tattoo parlor, whatever. That was a pretty funny scene. Get to see it all played out. But I'd also want to bring up, I don't want to jump to the end, but close to the end, when the final three characters are still alive, the mom figures out, oh, I'm just gonna stay in this house as long as I'm alive, you guys are safe. And she goes in the house, and like that was the most Final Destination ass kill, with the sparks trickling down into the gutter and into the gas. It starts a fire that goes into this random gas line that just, a lot of gas lines blow up in this movie. They should call it Final Destination gas lines. But it was just crazy, like seeing the whole house blow up, boom, and then the kid's about to die. And the mom has like that half of the Freddy Krueger face going on. She tries to save her son, and then he goes, "Thanks, mom," and then she's like, "Don't worry, as long as I'm alive," she's gone. And yeah, it was just crazy, man. Like I said, it's an entertaining movie. Want to go see this movie? It's silly. Okay, if you're familiar with I'm said familiar with Final Destination, then you should know what you're getting yourself into. You're gonna get all this gooky, goofy, you know, things that trickling down, and it makes this big booby trap Pee-wee's Playhouse as setup into this brutal head explosion, decapitation, mutilation, body situation. It's hilarious. Honestly, I want to put it in the horror comedy. Like that's how I feel, and it's not in a negative way. I think people taking it very serious and very like critically acclaimed is kind of silly to me, but it's cool. I respect everyone's opinions. I don't want to come off like they're dumb either. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but like I did enjoy the time watching it. It was a very entertaining movie. Like I got to see how creative can they be, and I think that's where I did like the creativity was there, and they executed their creativity, and kudos. Like I said, I had my two little favorite parts. That was dope. Got to see Tony Todd, and you could tell he was sick, and I guess he knew his time was coming, and his lines in that movie lined up with reality, so it was kind of creepy. Like, oh man, So R.I.P. to Tony Todd. I'll never forget. By the way, when I met him back in Flashback Weekend, man, back in the day. So I know he's a cool dude. R.I.P. to him. And it's weird to see him in that. That's his last movie, and that's another reason why I had to see it. I had to support Tony Todd, man. And he did good. He was nice and creepy in that movie. So I enjoyed that. But overall, I can't say it's a 92. Like, people are giving it a 4.5 out of 5, 9 out of 10s, 8.5 out of 10. If you give it that, that's okay because you enjoyed yourself. Some people are enjoying seeing Tony Todd, so they're boosting it up another extra 4 points, type of thing. There's really no wrong score in this. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm not saying it's as great. I'm just keeping it real, keeping it a buck. And I have to address the one thing that did kind of definitely make me want to, like, I have to call it out. I did not like the whole the killer choo-choo train shit at the end. When I seen that penny roll down all those fucking stairs and flip its way perfectly all the way down to right into the little brink right in the train track, and then I was like, if that train flies off the track, it didn't just fly off the track. This shit was chasing them down the street. Then the logs for the finish in Final Destination fashion. Bravo. You guys did it. I'm not mad. It was a crazy Final Destination ass movie. I don't know if I said this before earlier. I don't remember. I'm not the biggest fan of Final Destination movies. I don't hate them. Just know what they are. I like the first one. First three. I like them. But it definitely kind of like falls down for me. It doesn't evolve for me. They just get kind of just kookier, crazier. I did like part 3 a lot. Part 3 was kind of cool. I like that one, but it just got real nutty. And I'd have to say if my score on Final Destination Bloodlines out of 5, I'd have to give it a 2.5. 2.5 out of 5. Not a trash movie, not the greatest movie. If you know what you're getting yourself into, it's a very goofy, kooky experience. It's literally a horror comedy to me. Tony Todd did his thing for the quick second he was in the movie. There's a couple of really cool set pieces in the movie. Overall, it's just a granddaughter solving death equations and people getting randomly mutilated by literally random events that family's RNG is trash. Oh man. But that's my view, my thoughts on the Final Destination movie. Thanks for tuning in to Dark Rewind. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And what did you think about Final Destination if you've seen it? And what's your favorite one? My favorite one is part 3. Why? Theme park. I'll definitely break that down later. I might even rank the fucking series. Who knows? But once again, Dark Rewind's out. Final Destination is in the books. Peace out.